For the last 25 years, MLS clubs have been chasing the CONCACAF Champions Cup like it's some kind of cursed treasure. They've made small rule changes and even created tournaments like Leagues Cup designed to hand MLS teams more spots and an edge in the competition. Yet, in all that time, they've only lifted the trophy one time. Just one time in the last 25 years. Every single season, it feels like we're watching the same heartbreaking movie on repeat. Big expectations, early promise, and the same old collapse when it matters most. It's been genuinely painful for the fans year after year of watching our league fall short on the biggest stage in our region. And now it's left all of us asking the same heavy questions. What more can they possibly change? And what are they actually going to do to finally break this curse and bring that trophy home once again? You know, I feel like I make this same video every year, but this year just hurts a little more. MLS fails to make it to the CONCACAF Champions Cup final for the first time since 2021. We had been talking about them winning this again for the first time since 2022 when Pumas lost to the Seattle Sounders. But we are at a point where we're not even making it to the final again. And so that's a huge red flag, and it really puts a lot of things into question about the league and of their progression. What is wrong with this league, and what's going to happen moving forward to try to change things? Or are they going to change things? Just to run it back of what happened, MLS had 10 teams in the CONCACAF Champions Cup this year, and not a single one made it to the final. LAFC and Nashville SC made it to the semifinals. LAFC played Toluca. Nashville SC played Tigres. LAFC had a chance. They were up 2-1 heading into the second leg. They got smoked 4-0, lost that 5-2 on aggregate. And then Tigres beat Nashville SC 2-0 on aggregate, and neither team had a chance. And I'm just so tired of this happening every single time. It happens every year. And we've been trying to chase Liga MX for decades, and the gap looked like it was closing in because we had made it to 4 straight finals. 2022, we had the Seattle Sounders versus Pumas. 2023, we had LAFC versus Lyon. 2024, we had the Crew versus Pachuca. And then 2025, we had the Whitecaps versus Cruz Azul. Looked like this was going to be a normal thing that MLS teams were to continue to make it to the final. But now in 2026, we did not make it. No team, right? And we had more teams. MLS had 10 teams. Liga MX had 6. And there's a lot to unpack here about what's wrong with MLS and just to touch on a couple other things like Leagues Cup, because there's so many people that try to glorify that tournament, and it's just very fraudulent. It means nothing. We'll talk about that a little bit too. But it just feels like MLS, the rug is pulled from under them. They make it to the final. And honestly, guys, if they had made it to the final, I don't have confidence they would have won it this year anyway. But I just think it's bad they didn't even make it to the final. I mean, if you look at the last 2 championships that they played in, which has been the single leg, the Columbus Crew lost to Pachuca 3-0 at Pachuca, which was really bad. And then the Vancouver Whitecaps lost to Cruz Azul 5-0, which was absolutely embarrassing for a championship, performance. I mean, that's just bad. It makes the league look really, really bad. Now, look, there's obviously some hurdles when you're playing Mexican teams, right? The travel, the altitude, all that stuff, the depth, but you still need to give a respectable performance, right? And I just don't think we've given that in a while. So I want to talk about what's wrong with MLS and Liga MX, right? Now, MLS created TAM, targeted allocation money. It's a roster mechanism that helps you sign mid-tier players on your team, right? In Major League Soccer, when they had the DP, there was a huge discrepancy and difference between the top couple players and the bottom and middle players. Huge difference, huge gap, right? TAM was created to really help the depth and help close the gap to where there's not a huge disparity between the talents of the top players and the bottom players, right? So that was created in 2015, 11 seasons ago. And like I mentioned earlier, we only have one Champions Cup win, which is Pumas and Seattle Sounders versus Pumas in 2022, which some people, not to discredit the Sounders, they deserved their flowers for winning that. But a lot of people say that Pumas, that was one of the worst Liga MX teams to ever perform or make it to the CONCACAF Champions Cup final, right? So that's what people say. And also, it was a 2-leg format back then, so it was a little bit different. Now it's just a single game. But that was the last one we've won. So in the time they've created this, one team has won the CONCACAF Champions Cup. One team. So obviously what they've done has not improved the results at all. Look, at the end of the day, you can make it to the final, but you have to win the final. You can't just have a participation runner-up trophy. No one cares about that. When the other league wins it like 20 of the last 22, 21 years, no one cares about making it to the final. They just remember the winner, right? So obviously that hasn't helped as much as it could, right? Now, there's obviously the argument too about MLS's season, right? MLS starts their season in February. Liga MX starts their season in August, so they're in full season form when they play this tournament. MLS is just getting started, but that I do think plays a little bit of a factor into it, but I don't want to use that too much as an excuse, because by the time you get to right now, LAFC and Nashville SC have been playing MLS games for almost 2.5 months. Okay. 2.5 months. They're in form. Right? There's no excuse about preseason form. They made it this far. They're in form. They should have played better. And you can honestly make an argument that maybe the Liga MX teams are worn down because they're at the end of their season, right? So there's an argument to both sides, but I don't really like that argument anymore. And it really is going to be kind of obsolete now because MLS is switching their calendar. So I guess we'll figure out if that actually makes a difference when they do that. But that's been an excuse for many, many years. And I did play into that and think it was valid. But, if the team makes it to this point, it really doesn't matter anymore. Now, if they get knocked out in February, then you can make that argument because you're like, well, the team was playing a tough club and they weren't in form. They're still training and, preseason training and stuff. But once you get to this point, it really doesn't matter, right? So another thing too is the spending, the depth, right? I've said this before numerous times. Liga MX teams, they don't have maybe the top end players. They have some good players. Like they don't have like the top end players. Maybe some MLS teams do, but they have more quality depth, right? Liga MX teams can spend $5 million on the left back. They can spend $6 million on a center back. They can spend $8 million on a defensive midfielder. They can spend $9 million on a right winger. They can spend $11 million on a left winger. They can spend $15 million on a striker. MLS teams can't do that, guys. They just can't do that. And I'm not making excuses of why MLS shouldn't be winning. It's just the facts. They cannot spend money like that, and it's their own fault. That's the root of it all. It's their own fault they don't do this, right? That's the excuse. It's their own fault. Like it's not Liga MX's fault that MLS doesn't spend or allow their teams to spend like Liga MX, but Liga MX have players on their team that would be starters or DPs in Major League Soccer. I mean, it's just a fact. I was thinking about Tigres more specifically. I mean, Diego Lainez would be a DP in MLS for what Tigres paid for him when he came back from Spain. And he is a super sub. I mean, he starts some games, but he's a super sub for Tigres. The quality of depth they have is just second to none when it comes into North American soccer. Like it's not even comparable. So when you have some very questionable starters starting in MLS, Timothy Tillman, it kind of just begs the question of like, what would be different if they had this depth that they were able to sign players a little bit more freely, which I will say again is MLS's own fault. So the depth is a big issue. And I think that the TAM was supposed to fix that and it hasn't, right? It hasn't. So some Liga MX teams have 10, 11 DPs. Now, I want to talk about Leagues Cup because a lot of people say, but will we dominate Leagues Cup? Liga MX has never even made it to a Leagues Cup final in the 3 years it's happened. And I'm talking about the new format with a tournament. But my point or counter to that is who cares? Who cares? We're talking about Liga MX teams and their preseason form, like legit preseason, like they're playing this entire tournament after playing like 2 regular season games, are playing all their games in America, no home games, and some of them had to travel like a crazy amount of distance, right? They had to travel a crazy amount of distance in that tournament. So who cares? Like, literally, what does that prove that the LA Galaxy can beat Cruz Azul at home? What does that matter? The Seattle Sounders can beat Toluca at home. What does that matter that New York City FC can beat Lyon at home? Who cares? Because in CONCACAF, they've proven they can't beat them on the road. You know, so like, obviously, it means nothing too if we have this whole tournament where all the teams play each other and we win it every year. But when it comes to the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which is the biggest trophy in North America soccer, we can't win that. Then it just proves that it doesn't matter. It proves it doesn't matter, guys. It proves it does not matter. And another thing that's sad about the Leagues Cup thing, and I call it Leagues Cope now because it is. It's Leagues Cope. Like, if you think it's better, Leagues Cope. All right. The sad part about it is it's almost like a tournament, like a money grab tournament to give MLS more spots for the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And they do end up winning, like, they get like 3 extra qualification spots, and they don't do anything with it. 10-6. MLS has 10 qualifying teams. Liga MX has 6. And we still don't make it to the final in 1 year. We still don't make it. At least make it to the final. A lot of teams got embarrassed too. Like San Diego lost. They were up on aggregate, got embarrassed in Mexico. Cincinnati got embarrassed. They were up 3-0 at home. Go back to Tigre, score an away goal, so they had the 4-goal advantage, and they have the away goal. Tigre has to score 5 to win, and they do score 5 to win. So it's like MLS. It honestly hurts as a fan because it just feels like it's such a simple solution. It's like MLS is one of those things where they want to see if it's possible to win this tournament at the most difficult situation as possible. Like, yeah, guys, we know we could do this to win it, but like, we don't want to do that. We want to make it complicated. We want to see if we can do it the hard way. And it really doesn't make any sense, because if MLS were to win this tournament more frequently, it would help the league's credibility. It would help the league start to separate itself maybe from Liga MX. You know, no disrespect to Liga MX. I actually like Liga MX. No joke. I've really grown to respect them over the last couple of years. But MLS has always said they want to be the best league in the world. And they can't be the best league in the world when they're not even the best league in their own region. And I'm not trying to be a doomer. I'm trying to help push some awareness of like why this is broken and try to help get it fixed. You know, like, I want there to be legendary matches between MLS versus Liga MX. And MLS come out on top, and maybe Liga MX come out on top a couple of times too. Go back and forth to raise the quality of football in MLS. But the fact that we only got 1 win in the last 25 years is pathetic. It's pathetic. And I'm just tired of it. The World Cup is in 2026. We didn't make it to a final. I think MLS is maybe on the verge. Maybe they're not. I don't know how long maybe 2029 is the last year of it, or 2028. But, you know, at this rate, MLS isn't going to have a single team in the Club World Cup, which would be embarrassing. I just want them to at least make the final. Like, I want them to win this once every couple years. I mean, think about this. MLS hasn't scored a goal in a CONCACAF Champions Cup or Champions League final since 2023. Because the Crews scored 0 and Vancouver scored 0. So MLS hasn't scored a goal in a Champions Cup final since 2023. It's just been bad performance after bad performance. And if they could just do a couple things to loosen some stuff up, it'd be a whole different thing. It'd be a whole different thing. And Liga MX fans laughs at us. They think we're a joke. They don't think we're a serious league. And we got people out here bragging about Leagues Cup. It's just a shame. It's disheartening. And, you know, I want MLS to be taken more seriously. And I'm hoping that they'll make some changes. The CBA collective bargaining agreement ends in 2027. And I'm hoping that they will change some things that will give teams more flexibility, build better depth, get some better quality defending, help them be able to bring in some young talent, and just compete. Just compete, just very sad. I was just very upset about that performance. To lose 4-0 to Toluca, to not even score Nashville SC, just absolutely embarrassing. Curious to see what you guys think. I mean, what do you guys think MLS needs to do to be able to win this tournament? I know we've talked about this so many times, but we need answers. We need some real dialogue. We need to try to get something changed. And I want to know what you guys would change. Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoy this video, smash the like button down below. If you were disappointed in MLS, smash the like button down below. If you were happy for Liga MX, smash the like button down below. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And hit that little bell notification so you never miss a video. Until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.